Hello traders and welcome to the market opening preview, May 12th, 2016 on a Thursday, coming to the end of our trading week. Traders, great to be with you, coming to you live from Thailand. Traders, this is brought to you through FXCL Excellence in Trading. Traders, like I said, great to be with you on a beautiful sunny early morning. It's currently 7:21 a.m. in Thailand, and it would be 21 hours on Wall Street. Today's got 6 currency pairs to look over. Not a lot of data out today, but we'll talk about it, and we'll talk about the numbers of yesterday. Earnings season is winding down. However, this is the retail week where all the retailers are putting out their stuff, and I'll get to that later, but Macy's had horrible numbers and really took the markets for a dump. And we'll talk about crude oil, as usual, right? Okay, let me introduce myself to you. My name is William Gilday, and I'm your moderator for the Market Opening Preview Series every single trading day before the London Open. Traders, remember that I do record this during the Asia session. All right, so if you're opening this in London, just count about 12 candles back, and you can see where I started the presentation. Traders, I started trading in the year of 2006, and in 2008, I retired from a wonderful 27-year career as a firefighter paramedic out of the great state of Florida. Traders, 9 days later, came to Thailand to celebrate my retirement. I was only going to be here for 3 months. Well, traders, I'm in my 9th year, and I'm still here in Thailand and absolutely loving it. And I have to tell you, if you're a trader, it's the place to be. The time zone is really great. You can trade all 3 sessions. However, New York session, I only do about 2.5 to 3 hours in New York, as it does get late, especially when the times change in the U.S. So it gets pretty late at night here for me. And I'm one of these that's up at 5:15, and I'm at my charts by 6 o'clock. So what do we got going on? Well, the way I trade is I take the fundamentals, and I'm not a fundamentalist. I have to be honest with you. It's taken a lot of work over the last 3 years to really get a grip on fundamentals, and I don't have that grip yet. And so I do listen to fundamentals, and I do learn and try to understand what's going on and why certain reactions comes from certain data. But I do know one thing. I know when it's time to get out of in front of the freight train, right? So today we have some data which we'll talk about in just a minute, which is a freight train, right? All right, yeah, interest rate. So we'll talk about that in just a minute. So as I learn fundamentals and I know about fundamentals, I do not trade the numbers. I do not trade when the number is released. I wait about 30 to 40 minutes, see if it's within the trend, everything lines up, then I will enter the trade, and hopefully it just continues in the way that it's going. However, I am a technician. I love analyzing charts. Candlesticks. Traders, if you don't understand candlesticks, folks, online, you can just YouTube Forex candlesticks, and you can find hundreds of webinars that people have done for an hour and a half, 2 hours explaining candlesticks. There's really only 7 candlestick patterns you need to know. You don't need to know 65 candlestick patterns. All you need to know is 7, right? And it's so important. I love, looking at price structure, price action, price failure, support, resistance, higher time frames from the time frame I trade. Always look at higher time frames. So important. So you get a full picture of what's going on. What I do is I end up taking up my fundamentals and I take my technicals and I put it together, and I come up with, after my analysis, I come up with a trade plan. Then I have my trade plan, and I just basically wait for price to come to my entry. And if it doesn't come to my entry, well, guess what? I don't take that trade. There's 41 currency pairs out there to trade from, folks. I'm sure you can find one if you have to have a trade. I currently usually I scan 8 currency pairs on my screen during the day. After 8, it gets a little bit too much. That's a lot of currency pairs to be looking at. All right, that's just a little bit about myself. Let's get the legal stuff out of the way. This is our risk disclaimer. Forex trading has a large potential rewards, but also a large potential of risk. You must be aware of the risks and be willing to accept them in order to invest in the Forex markets. Traders, most importantly, please do not trade with money you cannot afford to lose. Traders, always remember that past performance of any trading system or methodology is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's get a look at what happened in the close of the markets yesterday. Yes, they had some, well, I'll tell you who it was. Macy's had earnings late yesterday in the New York session, and it was horrible reports. And basically, it took all the gains of the day and they lost it. It was a couple of retailers that had bad earnings comes out, bad forecasts, and it just really crunched the markets as the Dow 30 closed negative 1.21%, the S&P 500 closed negative 0.96%, the Nasdaq closed negative 1.02%, and the small cap 2000 closed negative 1.34%, quite in the negative. In fact, the dollar index is now again below 94. It's at 93.68, and I did check that just before I started this presentation. So the DAX closed negative 0.70%, and the FTSE 100 out of London was positive 0.09%, as the CAC 40 out of Paris was negative 0.50%. The Eurostoxx 50 was also negative 0.74%. So a little bit of mix there. Traders, let's get over to Asia. Now, some of these markets aren't open yet because doing this video quite early. The Nikkei 225, however, is trading and is currently negative 1.17%. The S&P ASX 200 out of Australia also is currently trading, and they are negative 0.58%. The China 850 closed yesterday positive 0.36%. They are not open yet, as the Hang Seng, also out of Hong Kong, is not open yet. They open in about 1 hour, and they closed yesterday at 0.93%. But I'm happy to say the Kospi out of Seoul is trading. However, they are negative 0.29%. All right, let's take a look at our economic calendar. Well, we had some news come out today, so take a look at that. Let's take a look at what's going on today news-wise. New Zealand had business NZ PMI come out, but there was no consensus. But the number was 56.5, and previous was 54.7. Medium impact. No reaction on the charts, my friends. No reaction at all on the charts. I did talk. I did put a blog out this morning, and current account NSA for March out of Japan. The consensus was 3.005 trillion, and it came out at 2.980 trillion, which was a bad number. Previous was 2.435 trillion. That was a bad number out of Japan. They also had adjusted current account, another bad number out of Japan. They did say today that they are looking at further easing, and that was straight off the news wires. I heard it myself, so it's not something that's secondhand. That is absolutely true. The other high-impact news, really the biggest high-impact news and the only high-impact news, is coming out of the Great British Pound today. We have interest rate decision today in the London session. Really, it's London lunch. It's quite late in the day. Then we have MOE, Bank of England's MPC vote cut, which is a medium impact. Then we have BOE inflation report, which is a high impact news event. And then, let's see, we do have, I'm almost positive I saw it. There it is. Then about 45 minutes later, we have Bank of England's Governor Carney speaking. So London lunch is going to be pretty busy today. Should be some moving in that area. We have our jobless claims out of the U.S. low impact. Initial jobless claims, medium impact. Nothing really big, my friends. Nothing big at all in the U.S. session. Looks very quiet in the U.S. session. We have a couple of FOMC members speaking today. Mester is speaking today, and Rosengreen is speaking today from the FOMC. And boy, they are on the chatter boxes because everybody's wondering what they're going to do. We don't see a rate hike coming in June. I don't think anybody expects that. We'll be lucky if we see one more rate hike for the rest of the year. And to be honest with you, I think they're all just full of hogwash. They're going to do what they're going to do. Commentary for today was, listen, yesterday the price action was horrible. Really, yesterday the euro basically stayed in a 60 pip range till really late in the day and then popped up a little bit, but pretty much the rest of the week was all just nothing. It was just absolutely range bound. It has popped out of the range and has come back. I hope to see some price action today. We do have a good amount of medium impact news events coming out, but like nothing like that I see is going to stir the pot. In the U.S. session, I think we could get a little volatile with the Great British Pound and all their data coming out 2 hours before the U.S. session. And then, of course, we have our U.S. data coming out, initial jobless claims and all that stuff. And the Fed is watching that. They want to see what's going on with that. Wow, I'm at 11 minutes already, folks, and I got 6 charts to get through. Let's get moving. Here's the euro dollar. You can see where the euro dollar popped up late in New York, and then what happened, end of New York, everything came back down. Now we're sideways. You know, this is an entry. You know, you just take this at 1.1427. You stick your stop above that turquoise line up on the magenta line up on the top of the chart. That's resistance, and you see if you can get this thing to come down. You know, I would take profit at 1403. Okay, so you say, well, that's only a 24 pip trade. You're right, it is only a 24 pip trade. The reason I put that there was, one, it is support. Two, we got a 200 and a 55 EMA. Not too worried about the 200. I am worried about the 55 because if you look left of the chart, there's a lot of price action there. So we'll keep an eye on that. But I'm only looking to sell the euro dollar, folks. I'm not going to counter trend the euro dollar. Okay, not going to happen. If this thing goes up another 200 pips, it's going without me because I'm not counter trending this pair. Let's take a look at the Great British Pound. Great British Pound, what a ugly chart this is. This is just horrible. This just was all over the place yesterday. I mean, if you traded this yesterday, you really had some hard work because it just whipsawed you all over the place. And there's probably a good chance that you probably might have got stopped out and had to re-enter. So my trade plan for today is, you know what? Let this get past all this nonsense, break below the trend line, and we'll take it to the downside at 1.4436. And we'll take it out at the S1 pivot at 1.4398. The nice thing about breaking below this trend line is there's not a lot of price action to get in our way. So it looks like a nice little trade. Let's go over to the Aussie. So I was looking at crude before I did the presentation. I see it hit $47 a barrel. I think that was West Texas oil. And, you know, this is just all over the place. And folks, when I talk about Forex junk, this is a perfect example of look left of the chart. I do not want to trade that. Okay, you have a lot of support and resistance areas. You have a lot of stuff going on there. The only positive thing, to be honest with you, is that your 55 and your 9 exponential moving averages point to the downside, right? So that's 10 moving average is pointing to the downside. You know, that's a positive thing. So hopefully we can break below this trend line. It's only a 2-touch trend line. Let's get into 0.7356. We'll get out at the S2 reversal pivot point at 0.7305. I think it can be done, and that's what we're looking for. Hey, what about this Euro Aussie? It had a good move, and now it's back sideways again. However, it's up at resistance, and this could be an entry right here. However, I'd really like this to get up to that all one pivot or as close as possible to 1.5548. And we'll take our profits at 1.5446. You know, this is a nice 90 pip trade. We just need price action to get up there. And, you know, we want it to happen now. So London, we can sell this. We just want to sell this, and we could take this down again. So this I really enjoy trading this pair. It just produces so many pips once it hits its mode. When it hits its mode, it's in there and it goes and it just doesn't stop, right? So it's really nice. But unfortunately, for the last 2 days, it's been sideways after that nice down move mode. And look at how the 200 exponential held and up she went. All right, let's look at the euro yen. Euro yen has done nothing all week, folks, and it continues to do nothing. It is sideways. There is nothing to do here. You can enter this here. This is not a bad entry at 123.86. Just put your stop 5 pips above the daily pivot point and let it go. Right? Your risk is going to be about 9 pips, 10 pips, and that's it. That is your risk. You're not going to get out to the S2 reversal pivot point. I don't think the 200 exponential moving average is going to be any concern at all. It might give you a bounce for one candle, and it's going to continue down. There's no price action left to the chart to get in your way. And we can get out at 123.12. This is a nice 60 pip trade, 64 pip trade. Let's jump on this. This is a really nice trade. We know we're bearish in the euro yen. All right, let's take a look at the New Zealand dollar. That gap still hasn't gotten filled. If you look left of the chart there, that gap is still not full. This is ugly, folks. As I'm bearish in this is still very ugly. Now, this is pretty ugly, to tell you the truth. So what we're looking for here is we're looking for this to come back down, and let's see if we can get this to break this trend line. Then really it needs to break this 55 EMA, because if you look left to the chart, it is going to react here. So we'll just keep a really good eye on that. So let's get below the 55. We'll try to enter this at 0.6805. Let's go to S2 reversal pivot point. Look left of the chart. Nice support area there. 0.6740. Nice trade. We just got to get below that 55 EMA. Otherwise, it's going to continue sideways and do nothing. All right, traders, 2 minutes and 18 seconds off my time today. I knew that was going to happen. I did have a lot to talk about. Traders, on behalf of myself, William Gilday, and our great friends at FXCL Excellence in Trading, I want to thank you for being with me on a Thursday, May 12th, 2016. Traders, please come visit our website at fxclearing.com for your trading solutions. Traders, have a great trading day, and we'll catch you in about 24 hours. Take care now, and what do we always say? Trade smart and not hard. See you next time. Bye-bye.